Welcome to the video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Rory. Today we're going to be discussing keyframes, the keyframe editors, the spline editor, and specifically we're going to start out in the beginning here talking about keyframes using the multi-text. I had a couple comments from Jeff Morris. He left a couple comments on my multi-text video. I'll link that in the description. He says, great video. I've been playing around with this and I want to use it for quiz slides with each question option appearing when the narrator reads the point out. I set the keyframes to the beginning of each question and set the corresponding text to visible, but on playback the text appearance does not correspond to keyframe timings. Any idea why that might be? We texted back and forth a little bit, so I'm going to cover that in the beginning of this video. He also commented that I think a video covering the basics and key points of how to use keyframes, move them, remove them, use the keyframe editor, and a series of examples would be a good idea for a video. There are plenty of videos out there, but they all seem to beat around the bush or omit key points that should be considered when dealing with or using keyframes. So that's what we're going to discuss a little bit today. And like I said in the beginning here, we're going to address his timing issue with the multi-text. So let's move along without further ado. So what we're going to do here is try to do what Jeff Morris had a problem doing, and that was the timing with his words. So what I'm going to do, I have an audio here. The video is just means nothing really. Our audio track, I will play this back. Okay, we're going to take a little quiz. What color is an apple? Okay. In this section right here, it says, what color is an apple? We're not concerned about this here. So what color is an apple? We're going to drag a multi-text onto our timeline. I'm going to stretch it out for the length of the clip. Now again, right here, it asks, what color is an apple? What color is an apple? So I'm going to go a little beyond to the left where that starts. I'm going to type in our box for text 1, I'm going to type, what color is an apple? So from this point to the beginning, we don't want that text showing because it's going to show the whole time. So we want to go a little beyond where we want it to show. And I'm going to uncheck it, and I'm going to set a keyframe, and I'm going to take the playhead to the beginning, and I'm going to set another keyframe. That way, it's not going to show up what color is an apple at all. Now, if I hit this little arrow to the right, that's where we set our first keyframe. If I hit this arrow to the left, that's the keyframe in the beginning. So we hit this arrow, it takes us to that keyframe. I'm going to hit I was interrupted and paused the video, so I lost my train of thought, but I think I know where we're at. So this keyframe to the left takes us to the beginning. This keyframe is where we started it. We don't want it to be seen. So I'm going to go one frame to the right with my right arrow key. Now I want it to be seen. It set a keyframe. I'm going to go to the end of that part of the audio. I'm going to set another keyframe so it will be shown this whole length. Now I will go one more frame with my right arrow key to the right, and I do not want it to be shown after that. And it's set a keyframe. So now if we play this back, okay, we're going to take a little quiz. What color is an apple? That's correct. So you see, in this area, our timing was perfect. What color is an apple? And then it quits. That's correct. So we'll go on to the next question. The answer is red. Or the answer, I'm sorry. In this area, the answer is red. It says the answer is red. So I'm going to go just beyond. We're going to click this icon to make our second sentence. The answer is red. Now, again, from here to back here, I do not want that showing. So I will uncheck it. We'll go all the way to the beginning, and it'll make a keyframe as well. Okay, we're going to take a little quiz. What color is an apple? That's correct. The answer is red. Okay. Now when we want the answer is red to show, I'm going to hit this little left back arrow. That's where we set the keyframe from here all the way back not to show. So I'm going to come one frame ahead with my right arrow key, and now I'm going to check this that I want it to show. And I want it to show all the way till my audio ends. So I'll set another keyframe. Now beyond that, I don't want it to show anymore. So I'm going to go one more frame ahead, and I'm going to uncheck it, and it sets the keyframe automatically. Now when we play this back, here's what we have. Okay, we're going to take a little quiz. What color is an apple? That's correct. The answer is red. What color? So now you can see that our timing is perfect, where the audio asks our questions and gives us our answer. I'll play it through one more time. Okay, we're going to take a little quiz. What color is an apple? That's correct. The answer is red. So right in this section it asks what color is an apple. This section right here says the answer is red. So that's how we set up our timing with the keyframes. What color? To correspond with our audio. So hopefully that answers his question on that. Now we're going to have a look at some keyframes in our keyframe editors on video. So before we go any further, I'm going to show you the keyframe editors for this text. Now if we highlight this text and we go to our keyframe icon right here, which opens up our keyframe thing down here, you can see there are no keyframes. I'll turn that off. The same thing, if we come up here to our keyframe editor, you can see that there are no keyframes. The only place you can see the keyframes for a text would be in the Fusion page. We jump over into Fusion, excuse me. You can see these white marks here. These are our keyframes. There's two of them here. This is one that we set where we don't want the word to show. The second little mark is the one we set where we do want it to show. So these are our keyframes. Now the only place you're going to see them is in our spline editor. Now I have text 1 enabled, so that shows the keyframes for text 1. We'll click this icon so we can see them. Now if I play this ahead, you can see what color is an apple, and there it quits. So this is our 2 keyframes. Now if I wanted to speed it up, if I wanted to change the speed of how fast it shows and disappears, you know that the length between point A and point B of 2 keyframes is the time it takes for that motion to happen. The closer the keyframes are together, the faster it is. So if I highlight these 2 keyframes and pull them together, removing the keyframes now, you're going to see that it's much quicker. It would come on screen and end much faster. I'll hit Control Z to undo that. Now we could also highlight our keyframes, hit S on the keyboard, and that would smooth things out. I'll Control Z to get back out of that. So this is really, the spline editor is your keyframe editor for certain things in the Fusion page. Like we've seen in the edit page, you can't see any keyframes. You have to go to the Fusion page in order to see the keyframes for the text. So I hope that helps there. Now we'll move on to keyframes in video. Okay, I've gone ahead and deleted everything. We're going to drag this monkey into our timeline. He's eating an apple. He looks like he's enjoying himself. We're going to start with him zoomed in. We're going to set a keyframe for our zoom. We're going to come ahead to about here, and we're going to have it zoom out. I just double-clicked zoom to have it take us to 100%. So this diamond right here opens up our keyframe editor down below. We can now see our keyframes. This is the starting point. This is the ending point. Now that the speed at which this zoom out takes place is determined by the length apart that these keyframes are. If they're further apart, it's going to take longer for that zoom out effect to happen. If they're closer together, it's going to happen faster. I'll put them real close together, and our zoom happens really fast. Now if I bring them back out here, it used to be, if you wanted to smooth things out, you would right click and you had real-time curves here. You no longer have that in version 20. It's all done in this keyframe editor up here. This icon shows us our keyframes. We can move them further apart here, just like we could down here. We could highlight them, hit the delete key, and delete them. But what I want to show you is this here. Here's our first keyframe right here. Here's our second keyframe. I'll play that ahead. You can see. So if we want to smooth that out, what we do now is I would hit Control A to highlight everything. We would come to this icon right here. We have ease in and out, ease in, ease out. So I'll choose ease in and out. So you can see our curve now, like you would have in the spline editor in our Fusion page. It's all done in this keyframe editor now. You have your handles here. You can move things. You can move your handles. You can change your curves, whatever you want them to be. So that's where you do all your smoothing now, is in the keyframe editor. Now let's take another example of something. Let's take this apple, for instance. Let's say we want to make this apple. I'm going to zoom this apple out a little. We're going to have this apple start over here. And we're going to set a keyframe for our X position. When we get to here, we're going to have that apple be over here. So we play that back. Our apple moves across the screen. Again, the speed at which that happens is determined how far apart those keyframes are. That makes it happen fast. Now, at this point, I'll set a keyframe again for our Y position. I'll come ahead, and here we'll have our apple come down. So now, this is what we have. Our apple comes up and down. And if we want to smooth that out, we come to this keyframe editor. We can see all our keyframes. If we go here and didn't want to make certain adjustments, we could turn things on and off here. Now we'll go back here. We can either hit Control A on the keyboard, or we can simply highlight everything by drawing a box around everything. We'll come up here to our smooth menu, ease in and out. And as I said, you can adjust these arrows as you wish to smooth things out more. But that's how that's done now. It's all done in this keyframe editor. So when you smooth things out, it looks much more professional than just a jerky movement. Other than that, I don't know what more to say about keyframes. Once you get the hang of them, they're pretty self-explanatory. If I wanted to get rid of all these keyframes, this circle thing here resets everything. I can get rid of all the keyframes just by resetting everything. Everything is gone now. So all the keyframes are gone for that video. I highlight this one. We still have keyframes here. I can highlight them, hit delete on the keyboard. We can come up here and just reset, and all the keyframes are gone. So that's about it. I don't know what more to say about the keyframe editor. As I mentioned earlier in the video, things like text, and you may run into other things that you can only see the keyframes in the Fusion page under the spline editor, right here. But on the edit page, these are your two keyframe editors, and that's where everything is done. So if you have any more questions or any comments, leave them down below and I'll answer them. Other than that, I have nothing more to say on the keyframes. That's about it. So that's it for this video. If you learned anything, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.